sorry about that. Reading with audiobooks is still reading. A lot of people think, well, they're not actually reading. Students with reading deficits who read with audiobooks do have better comprehension than those that don't. We don't want to believe the myths out there. Here's some facts about audiobooks. The myth is that listening is not actually reading. Whether we are reading or listening to an audiobook, our brains process the words in the same way. Okay, there's no slacking, there's no remixing. We can comprehend when we just listen. Reading text on paper is the only way to read, and really the fact is all reading matters. Reading in different formats, both on paper and through audio, and that's what I would like this grant to be, that's why I'm asking for the book plus the Playaway, because doing that at the same time, you are reading the words plus hearing it. Also, it seems unfair to let just a few students read with audiobooks. Differentiation is what we are doing on a daily basis. Using audiobooks for whole class instruction, we do that with our classroom read alouds, but to have the option to offer students on IEPs, not on IEPs, the chance to listen to an audiobook is fantastic. Students will actually learn to read well if they listen. Students will never actually learn to read well if they listen to audiobooks. That's just straight up false. Listening to audiobooks increases comprehension and allows students to access grade-appropriate content. That's one of the biggest reasons for this grant is the grade-appropriate content. Building prior knowledge and increasing word exposure increases reading ability. Most sixth graders right now are reading books such as Fever, Making Bombs for Hitler, a lot of World War II books, The War I Finally Won. One of the big popular ones right now is Nowhere Boy. The problem is a lot of our struggling readers, those books scare them just looking at them. So they aren't able to connect with their peers on what they are reading. Our struggling readers are drawn to the Who Was series, Who Was, What Was, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that's a big one, Dork Diaries, the iFunny series, and also The Last Kids on Earth. Again, these are grade level, they're a little low for grade level appropriateness, but they work. The problem is most kids coming into sixth grade have read those, so they'd like to be challenged a little bit, and that's why with a combination of the Playaway and the paperback books, I feel like we can do that. With this grant, I'm hoping students will be able to talk to their peers about best-selling books that are out there right now that 6th, 7th, 8th graders are reading. They can now recommend books to classmates at their level and feel accomplished when they finish and understand a more difficult book. And last but not least, this is my friend Hayden. Hayden is a student at North in my class, and I'd like to just show you what he's listening to. A Playaway, these are the Playaways that I get from the library. They call it a Playaway pack, a book pack. And in here are these two things, a paperback book and a case. In this case is the actual Playaway. The Playaway looks like this, and this really is, if you've ever seen a book on CD, that's this. That's all it is. There are buttons on the back. There's a power button. If you push the power button, it turns on. It saves the spot you stopped at. You can rewind it, fast forward, start over, those types of things. The volume is on the side, and really all it takes is one AAA battery. If I can open it. One AAA battery and headphones, and you have the audiobook there. This is awesome because it does fit into the computer cases that we give the kids. So the kids just bring it out, push play, push it, put it back in their computer case, and follow along with the actual book. So Hayden is one of my first guinea pigs with this system. And I asked his mom to write a little something, and I did attach it to the grant itself, but I'd like to just read it to you. Hello, Mrs. McDuffie. I have always loved to read. As a child, my favorite day was Scholastic Book Order Day. I would always buy a stack of books and could not wait to get home and start reading. When I became a mother, I made sure I read to my boys, even when they were too new to even understand. I had a mini library at home, filled with board, picture, and chapter books. And while both of my boys love to be read to, it breaks my heart that neither share my love of reading itself. We spent almost every weekend at the library looking for topics and subjects to engage their interest to no avail. We would attend story times, library-sponsored events, school book fairs, and still reading was a dreaded and loathed activity. So it nearly brought me to tears when I walked into my living room to see Hayden reading. He was reading along with the aid of the Playaway audiobook. This was truly a miraculous thing. He was doing it, and he wasn't prompted or arguing about having to read or complaining. It was wonderful to see him enjoying the book. Once he was finished, I asked him about what he was reading, and he told me and said he really likes using the Playaway books. While we are still a ways away from reading for fun, I am glad he has the resource available to help him complete his schoolwork. Thank you for your patience, support, and encouragement with Hayden. It is greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Katie Baddick. And that is the main reason why I am going for this grant, is for my students like Hayden, who can now talk to their peers about books, recommend books, and really just bring reading to life. So thank you again for considering my grant, and I can't wait to hear what comes of it.